Ever wondered how cats apologize to humans? Most people assume they don't. They imagine cats as proud, stubborn creatures that simply walk away after doing something wrong, completely unaffected by how we feel. But the truth is far more interesting than that. Cats absolutely do apologize. They just do it in ways that don't look anything like a human apology. There are no guilty faces, no dramatic gestures, no clear "I'm sorry." Instead, their apologies are quiet, subtle, and easy to miss if you don't know what you're looking at. And that's where the real problem begins. Because if you misread those moments, or worse, push them away when they're trying to repair the bond, you could be rejecting the only language your cat has for saying sorry. And once you understand that language, something fascinating happens. Suddenly, those little things your cat does after knocking something off the table or scratching where they shouldn't stop looking, random, they start looking intentional, almost emotional, almost human. Let's begin with the signal most people have seen but never fully understood. Sometimes, after doing something wrong, your cat will look directly at you and slowly close their eyes. Not a quick blink, a slow, deliberate one, almost like they're saying something without words. Many cat owners know that slow blinking is a sign of trust, but very few people realize how powerful that moment actually is, especially after tension. Imagine the situation from your cat's perspective. Maybe you just raised your voice because they knocked the glass off the counter. Maybe your posture stiffened or your tone changed. And to a cat, those shifts are huge. Their brain instantly registers them as potential danger. The amygdala, the part of the brain responsible for detecting threats, activates almost immediately. Their instincts are simple: run away or freeze. That's what evolution trained them to do, but instead of running, your cat stays. They look at you, and then they slowly close their eyes. Think about what that means for a moment. A small predator is choosing to briefly blind itself in front of something it perceives as a threat. That isn't casual behavior. That's a signal of peace. It's your cat saying, "I'm not challenging you. I'm not escalating this. I trust you." Research from the University of Sussex actually confirmed that cats use slow blinking intentionally as a social signal toward humans. Even more interesting, when humans slow blink back, cats show measurable reductions in stress hormones. In other words, when you return that blink, you're not just acknowledging them, you're literally calming their nervous system. And this is something I want to ask you personally for a second. If you've ever noticed your cat doing that slow blink after a tense moment, and you're only now realizing what it might have meant, take a moment and tell me about it in the comments. I read those stories all the time, and honestly, some of them are incredible. Sometimes the smallest cat behaviors end up meaning the most. Another apology that often goes unnoticed happens through something called headbutting. You might know it simply as the headbutt. Picture this. You're sitting on the couch, maybe still slightly annoyed about something your cat did earlier, and out of nowhere, they walk over and gently press their forehead against your hand, your arm, or even your face. Most people laugh and assume the cat just wants attention, but the timing of this behavior tells a deeper story. Cats have scent glands around their forehead, cheeks, and chin. When they press their head against you, they're depositing pheromones onto your skin. In everyday situations, this behavior is a sign of affection and familiarity. But after conflict, it can take on a different meaning entirely. Stress changes human scent in subtle ways. When your body releases stress hormones, your smell shifts slightly. Humans can't usually detect it, but cats absolutely can. To them, that change signals tension in the relationship. Something about the bond suddenly feels different, so your cat walks up and marks you again. They're essentially rewriting the scent connection between the two of you. It's their way of saying, "This is still my person. Nothing has changed." And if your cat has ever done that, just walked up after a tense moment and pressed their head against you like they were trying to reconnect, that moment deserves a little appreciation. If you're enjoying learning these hidden signals, you could gently tap the like button or subscribe so more people understand their cats better, not because it helps me, but because it helps more cats get understood instead of misunderstood. Now let's talk about one of the most surprising apology gestures a cat can offer. Sometimes, after you've been upset with them, Your cat will bring you something, a toy, a small object, maybe the little plush mouse they carry everywhere. They walk over, drop it near you, and then just sit there. Many owners assume the cat wants to play, but that's not always what's happening. Cats don't retrieve objects the way dogs do. When a cat brings something to a person, it usually has meaning. And behaviorists have noticed something fascinating. When cats offer objects after tension, the behavior resembles what animal researchers call a reconciliation offering. In social animals, individuals sometimes present valuable resources to repair damaged relationships. It's a way of restoring harmony without confrontation. Now think about that favorite toy your cat carries around, the one they protect, the one they bat around the house at night, the one they sometimes sleep next to. When they pick it up and place it beside you after you've been upset, they might be offering you something that matters to them, that's not random, that's generosity in the only currency they have. And honestly, if you've ever discovered a toy mysteriously placed next to you after a moment when you are frustrated with your cat, pause and think about that for a second, because your cat might have been trying to make things right in the way they understood. Another apology signal can look a little strange at first. Your cat might suddenly start grooming you. Maybe they jump into your lap and start licking your hand, your fingers, or even your chin. At first it feels quirky. Cats lick things sometimes right, but the timing of this behavior is important. In cat social groups, mutual grooming, known as allogrooming, plays a huge role in maintaining relationships. Cats don't groom everyone equally. In feral colonies, grooming is reserved for individuals with strong social bonds. It's not just about hygiene, it's about trust and tension reduction. Researchers have observed that grooming interactions between cats can actually lower heart rate and reduce stress levels in both animals involved. It's a biological tool for calming conflict. So when your cat licks your hand after something tense happened, they're not just being affectionate, they may be trying to restore emotional balance between you. They're soothing themselves, and if you've made it this far in the video, I want to pause for a second and say something personal. If you're someone who genuinely wants to understand your cat better, not just the funny moments, but the emotional ones too, then you're exactly the kind of person this channel is for. You can subscribe if you want to stick around for more of these conversations about how cats actually think and feel. No pressure, just an open invitation. Now there's one apology signal that confuses people more than almost any other. Sometimes, right after being scolded, your cat will suddenly roll over and expose their belly. To many owners, this looks like an invitation to rub their stomach, but in many cases, it isn't. A cat's belly is the most vulnerable part of their body. It protects vital organs, and in the wild, exposing it would be extremely dangerous. Cats don't show their stomach casually unless they feel safe or they're trying to defuse a situation. And when your cat rolls over after tension, they may be displaying vulnerability as a way of de-escalating conflict. It's almost like saying, "I'm not a threat. Please don't stay angry." But here's where misunderstandings happen. Many people see the exposed belly and immediately reach down to pet it. Suddenly, the cat swats, scratches, or bites. Now the owner feels betrayed, but the cat wasn't asking for belly rubs. They were offering vulnerability, and touching that vulnerable area can feel overwhelming or intrusive in that moment. Sometimes the best response is simply to soften your voice, blink slowly, and let the moment pass without forcing physical contact. Finally, there's one apology behavior that looks almost human once you recognize it, and it's so quiet that most people completely miss it. After tension, your cat might start following you from room to room, not meowing, not demanding attention, just appearing wherever you go. Sitting quietly nearby, watching, waiting. Cats are naturally independent. When they want distance, they disappear without hesitation. So when a cat chooses to stay close during emotional discomfort, that decision carries weight. Animal behaviorists call this proximity maintenance. It's a strategy seen in many social animals after conflict. Instead of forcing interaction, the individual simply reduces distance and remains present until the relationship stabilizes. Humans do this too. After an argument with someone we love, we might sit in the same room quietly, make coffee, scroll on our phones, not speaking, but not leaving either. That quiet presence says something words can tie. Your cat does the same thing. They stay nearby because the bond matters more to them than their pride. And for an animal that could easily walk away and live comfortably on their own, that silent choice to remain close might be the most sincere apology they can offer.